Good morning! Hopefully your day is going well for you. I wanted to take you out to the living room today and give you an in-depth tour and look of the flow-through. I have a few new subscribers. Hello, new subscribers! Thanks for joining. And I wanted to give them, plus my old viewers, or regulars, an in-depth view of the flow-through to show exactly how it was built, what it's doing, what I'm feeding them. I'm feeding them something different now, and they seem to love it. Different type of food. And why I'm showing you that is because I'm burying it. It's not going to be on the top anymore. I have to bury it with lots of bedding because these guys are eating away. The level of the flow-through has gone down dramatically compared to when I started. The whole flow-through was packed with cardboard all the way up to the top, and it's like 3/4 down now. Well, at least below half. I don't know if it's gone down the past few days or not, but so we'll start at the bottom of the flow-through, work our way up, and I'll show you exactly how I built it, what I used, and what I've been feeding, what I am feeding now, and we'll give them a good feeding today, and then bury it with the cardboard and egg crates. I was going to say milk crates. Egg crates that I have been soaking past few months, at least past few weeks. I've been soaking stuff for it, so it's all ready to go. Just needs you to come along with me. Let's go take a tour well, it's a living room, but it's a storage room to us. So let's go have a look. Okay, I started this. I don't have the date of it, but well, that's impressive. Probably it hasn't been a year yet, and none of this has dropped out yet. But it is wet down there. I haven't looked under here since, well, maybe a month ago, and so it's not even a year old yet. And the reason it's not dropping yet is there's a thick layer of newspaper and on the bottom of this. I was going to say cardboard, but there's lots of cardboard above that. Probably 12, 15, 20 layers or more of newspaper that's underneath here. And the other flow-through I have didn't have as much newspaper as this one. But I wanted a thick level of newspaper on this so it doesn't, drop out right away. I wanted pure castings to come out of this. And that's what it's doing right now. The worms are working the material. The newspaper is not even remotely looks like it's going to drop. That's just a piece of paper just hanging down. That's all that is. So the spacing on the bars, that when I built this, I built the spacing, or placed the spacing wider than the other one. It should still hold the material in there. That's what I'm hoping. And it should drop easier. It's dropping nicely in the other one. And I wasn't too sure at that time when I was building this of how the material was going to drop, because it still was in the process of having the newspaper like this stage. It didn't drop yet when I was building this. So I wanted to space this is probably 2.5 to 3 inches in places. It wasn't measured. I just basically did this really quick. As you can see, that's a wide space there. That's a little wide. That's a little bit together. Maybe I should have put another bar into this. The PVC pipe was a 1/2 inch diameter instead of 3/4 inch. You see other people make these with 3/4. And I used 1/2 inch because of the, not the diameter, but the thickness of the pipe itself. And I'll show you that. The thickness of the pipe is more on this than a 3/4 inch pipe, so I thought it was more durable, which it is. I mean, I've had no problem with the other one holding a couple 100 pounds worth of weight in it, and that's probably what the other one weighs right now. It has a, you know, thicker diameter wall pipe, if you want to call it that. I don't know what the thickness is comparable to the 3/4 inch pipe, but the spacing, you know, see, it's a little bit wider there. You know, I was just drilling these out and putting them through. The only issue I have with the other one, I'll show you this one, is the hole here. I don't know, it's 11 inches or something. But when it drops out in this part here, in the front of there, it drops on the ground. So, my thought, if I ever did this again, and if somebody's planning to make one, is maybe cut a couple slits, or not to cut out this whole piece, is just to cut up a slit, cut it across the bottom and cut it up, and keep this top part and just bend it back. And what that would do is that would keep the compost from falling out onto your floor. That's the only thing that, you know, I have a gripe about that I didn't do. And I don't really want to cut up this anymore, because then I lose the integrity of the strength of the 55-gallon flow through here. Yes, it's a 55-gallon flow through in my house. One of two. If those who are new didn't know that. So, putting a flap into the front there, pushed back, I would almost, you know, heat it with a heat gun or something to bend it back, but to keep the strength of it. And then the compost should be able to fall somewhat into the bin and not onto the floor. That's, at least that's, you know, my thought on this. And that's basically the bottom. You know, till it starts working and falling out. I'm not going to rip up the newspaper at all underneath there. I'll let the worms work it through, and the microbes. Eventually it'll break down, become vermicompost, and fall out the bottom. So I'm going to let that do its thing. I'm not going to mess around, you know, cutting slits or tearing away some of the newspaper for it to fall quicker. I'll let it do it, you know, its job on its own. So let's have a look in the top of this, and I'll show you what's going on. Okay, the top is a little bit cut narrower. You know, it's not as wide as a cut. It's probably 6, maybe by 8 in height. And why I did that is to keep the integrity of the strength of the container. I could have cut it a little bit bigger. I still, you know, still could cut it out, but the whole container was all one piece. You know, it's all connected, even the bung holes Yes, these things are called bung holes. I found out. Those are still intact. See, there's not one, but there's two bung holes. Serious, that's what it's called. And so this allows me to put the food in, get in here with tools, you know, if I need my 3-prong fork I have or shovel, I can get in here. But that's why I wanted to keep the strength of the container, so it's not caving in because of the weight. It does pretty good. I mean, as heavy as this thing is, I mean, you wouldn't believe this probably, I don't know, 150 pounds. It's probably a little bit lighter than the other one, but it's still keeping up its shape. It hasn't bowed at all. Neither has the other one. So let's have a look inside. We've been looking inside here anyway. It's got a paper toilet paper roll there, and some coffee grounds are in here. I fed this, well, it had newspaper. I've had like junk mail, just rip off the cellophane I've thrown in here. These are scallions that my brother gave me the other day. This thing is, the worms are going to town on this, basically. That's a pizza, bottom of a pizza plate, cardboard one. The isopods are all over that. They were more the other day. If you recognize this is my new thing I'm trying out. It's pineapple. That right there was a bigger piece the other day. And right there, they love pineapple, it seems. The worms are crawling all over it. Isopods. There's cabbage there. And all the brown stuff is all the vermicompost, or worm castings, from the worms. And as you can see, it's probably almost half full. I thought it was a little bit lower than that. But what I want to do is fill this up with some more bedding, so they have plenty of bedding to work through and plenty of food. So they have a batch of food here. I've also given this frozen banana peels. Now, I don't freeze all of everything I have, but it does help break down the process of the decomposition of the food. It breaks down the cell membranes, or the cell wall membranes of it, and it decomposes faster, so the worms can get, eat it quicker than usual. Some more lettuce or cabbage or whatever that was. Basically, anything that's in the kitchen, I've been throwing in here. You wouldn't think scallions or onions they'd be able to eat, but in my isopod bin, if you haven't seen a video of that, I've got a few videos on my isopod bin. They ate roots, stems, leaves, all of that from onions and scallions before. So I throw it in here. I have no trouble of not thinking that they won't eat this, because they ate it clean in the other bin. The worms aren't on it, but the isopods are. As you can see, there's one crawling right there. He's having a meal right there as we're talking. So the pineapple was a new thing to try out. The top of this is going to take probably a year or more to break down without cutting or freezing. This one wasn't frozen. The other one I am freezing. because I can now. I didn't think about freezing this. I'm going, oh, I'll just throw it in to see what the difference is. And I wanted to freeze the other one to see what the, you know, which one breaks down quicker as an experiment, which I'm always trying something new. And I always encourage you to try something new in your bins. You know, if you have a new piece of food, put it in like a corner or something to see what they do to it. The worst part is, if they don't like it, you just take it out and throw it outside in your other compost pile, and it'll break down in there. There's some trimmings down there of the pineapple. So that's basically a look. I'm gonna go and grab the other things I have freezing. She gave me corn cobs and corn husks, if I remember right, of what my mom told me, and pineapple trimming. So those are in the freezer, and I'll bring them out and throw them in here. So this was frozen solid, and I just put it in the freezer yesterday. But she has some big chunks of pineapple in there. Of course, the top of it right there. And what that'll do is, even seeing it's frozen right now, once it thaws out, that's a lot of moisture that's going to be added to the bin. Usually I don't have to add any moisture, unless I'm doing coffee grounds. And then I add water to it. But pretty much if you add a bunch of green vegetable matter into your bin, that will add the water content that it needs. And if it doesn't, then you add water to it. But this is the pineapple. We'll call it a blob, frozen blob. And over here is the corn cob frozen blob. So I know those corn husks will take over a year. They're really tough. And I should cut them up into pieces, you know, cut them up into fine pieces, but I'm going to let them be like that, because I know it's frozen and not fresh. The fresh ones took over a year to break down in one of my bins. But the corn cobs itself, the worms will use that as basically a house. They'll dig their way inside. Well, not dig, but eventually when it breaks down, they'll go inside or use the ridges where the cobs were, or the kernels, and use that as a tool to rub off their cocoons. So they'll lay a bunch of cocoons right in this area, you know, in a few months or more, and use those corn cobs till they break down to nothing, as a like when a bear scratches its back on a tree. Basically, that's what they're doing here. Or, a snake rubs its you know, skin on a rock. You know, it takes it off. That's what they use a corn cob for, or any type of bedding in the flow through here. So that's basically a look. That's a good in-depth look. I'm pretty sure I covered most of everything I've used. Egg crates, newspaper, junk mail, cardboard. Cardboard's the #1 thing I use around here for bedding. I've put a pair of pants in here, like I did my old flow through, just to see what they would do. So I'm pretty sure there's a pair of pants somewhere down there. We're gonna see if you know, how long it takes to break those down, but that's all cotton. So cotton is a natural material, and I want to see what happens. And to cover the hole for a filter, I use a pair of pants. That's what I use. It keeps the moisture in, keeps the bugs, if there are any. There's a few ones that are flying around inside the bin or crawling around. it keeps those in there. And, you know, the moisture stays in there at a decent level. It doesn't evaporate. And there's no smell. You know, you walk by here and you don't have a smell. You don't even know this is here, basically, unless you look at it. If, you know, if you didn't know this was what it was, it would have just been looking like, you know, they just had a 55-gallon drum in their house with a pair of pants on it. That's all it looks like. Not knowing that there's, you know, a flow-through worm bin underneath the pair of pants with an opening. So to give you somewhat of a look of where it sits, there's the door, and there's the flow-through bin. So you walk in and it's right there. It easy access to get to, not like my other one. And you know, I can throw in any waste I have. All I do is walk from the kitchen, which is about 6 feet behind me, if that, and just come in here and dump it in the top. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment saying what you like about it, what you don't, what I can improve. Tell me what you're doing with your flow-through bins, your worms, how you're composting, if any. I'd like to know. You know, different techniques. Maybe you're doing something different than I'm doing, or something I can try. I've got space here. I get space out at the house in Chino to try different things with. So leave a comment, please. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Always looking for new subscribers to the channel. Always welcoming new people. I have quite a few regulars that watch and always comment. Thanks to them. But always looking for more. So hopefully you enjoyed today. The in-depth look of the flow through and the feeding. And enjoy your day. And thanks for watching.